Did you know that according to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, 2 out of every 3 people over the age of 60 are living with high blood pressure without knowing why it refuses to go down, even after cutting salt, taking medication regularly, and avoiding many foods. So what is really happening inside your body? Why is your blood pressure still high, still quietly knocking at your door every morning and making your heart beat unusually fast, even though you believe you have done everything right? Today, I want to share a completely different perspective. A silent but very common cause that few doctors mention during regular checkups. And if you have ever asked yourself, I already eat bland food, so why is my blood pressure still high? Then the next part of this video might reveal the answer you have been searching for. If you are over 60, please watch this video until the end. It may change the way you take care of your health every single day. Where are you watching this video from? Leave a comment below. And if you find this information helpful, do not forget to share it with your loved ones. It could be the best health gift you ever give. For decades, we have been told a familiar message: eat bland food, cut back on salt, and take your medication regularly, and your blood pressure will go down. But the truth is, millions of older adults around the world have done exactly that, and yet their blood pressure remains unstable or even gets higher over time. Why is that? You might be surprised, but the real cause is not just the amount of salt you add to your soup at lunch. It lies in something quieter and deeper inside the body called insulin resistance. This is a condition where your body no longer responds well to insulin, a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. What is important to understand is that insulin does not only affect blood sugar, it also has a direct impact on the cardiovascular system and your blood pressure. According to a study published in Harvard Health Publishing, researchers found a clear connection between consistently high insulin levels and the risk of chronic high blood pressure, even strokes. This means if you are only focused on reducing salt but not paying attention to how your body responds to the food you eat every day, you may be missing the true root of the problem. Think of your body as a finely tuned clock, where each organ works in harmony with the others. When insulin becomes imbalanced, the whole system falls out of sync. At that point, no matter how bland your meals are or how faithfully you take your medication, your blood pressure may still stubbornly refuse to come down. And this is just the beginning of the story, because once insulin is affected, a chain reaction begins. The kidneys start retaining water, the blood vessels become tighter, and in the end, the pressure rises across the entire circulatory system. But before we dive deeper into that, take a moment to reflect. Are you eating in a way that truly helps your body control insulin? The answer may lie in the everyday foods you consider light and healthy. Think back to your most recent meal. Was it a bowl of white rice noodles with a bit of lean meat, warm bread roll, or a glass of milk with a lightly sweetened cookie in the morning? These foods seem very familiar, easy to digest, and even thought to be suitable for older adults. But few people realize that these seemingly harmless choices are quietly causing sudden spikes in blood sugar. This forces the pancreas to release a large amount of insulin to bring levels back down. The real problem starts when this happens over and over again, day after day, month after month, year after year. When the body is flooded with too much insulin for too long, the cells begin to ignore its signals. That is how insulin resistance slowly forms without warning. And when insulin is no longer doing its job, well, the body is forced to produce even more to achieve the same results. Constantly high insulin levels not only keep your blood sugar unstable, but also send signals to your kidneys to retain sodium and water, increasing the total volume of blood in circulation. This is like pumping more water into a rubber hose that is already full. The more water you add, the greater the pressure inside becomes, and the result is rising blood pressure that seems to have no clear cause, but it does not stop there. Insulin resistance also causes your blood vessels to tighten and lose their natural flexibility. As the vessels narrow, blood is forced through with more pressure, pushing your blood pressure even higher. Even if you do not eat salty foods, just a small amount of sodium can get trapped in the body due to insulin's influence. This explains why many people eat bland food and take their medications as prescribed, yet their blood pressure still stays high. So what are the foods you should be careful with? White bread, white rice, noodles, fried potatoes, pastries, bottled fruit juice, and even some breakfast cereals all have a high glycemic index, causing insulin to spike right after you eat. Even items labeled low-fat or heart-healthy can be hidden culprits if they contain refined sugar or processed flour. Do you have a habit of snacking after 9 p.m.? Do you eat cookies, condensed milk, or sweet fruits after dinner? If so, your body may never get a break from insulin, not even at night. That may explain why you wake up feeling tired, with a heavy head, and your blood pressure quietly stays above the normal range. In the next section, we will explore another factor that is also affected by insulin, but not widely known. It is nitric oxide, the safety valve of your blood vessels. Your body is designed with an incredibly intelligent protection system. In your circulatory system, there is a substance called nitric oxide, a natural molecule produced by the inner lining of your blood vessels. Its role is to help blood vessels relax and gently expand so that blood can flow more easily. Imagine nitric oxide as a safety valve attached to the plumbing system in your home. When the pressure gets too high, this valve opens to release the excess and prevent the pipes from bursting. But what happens if that valve is blocked and cannot function? That is right, pressure builds up quickly and becomes dangerous. When insulin levels in your body stay high due to a poor diet, it interferes with your ability to produce nitric oxide. As a result, your blood vessels lose their softness and flexibility. Instead of expanding when needed, they become stiff and narrow, like a rubber hose that has hardened after many years of use. Blood pressure must rise just to push through these tight vessels. And can you guess what happens next? That is right, your blood pressure climbs with no sign of stopping. Even more concerning, a lack of nitric oxide not only raises your blood pressure, but also damages the inner lining of the vessels. This creates the perfect conditions for arterial plaque, hardening of the arteries, and increased risk of blockages. Once the safety valve is disabled, your blood vessel system becomes more fragile than ever. And the important thing to note is that most older adults have no idea that high insulin has quietly stripped their blood vessels of this natural form of protection. So if you have been trying to control your blood pressure by cutting back on salt but have not seen much improvement, your body might be suffering from a serious deficiency of nitric oxide without you even knowing it. When nitric oxide is suppressed and blood vessels can no longer expand and relax as they should, another issue begins to appear quietly in the background. It is chronic inflammation in the inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. This lining forms the inner surface of your arteries and acts as the first line of defense against damage. But when insulin levels in the blood stay high for too long, they place constant pressure on the vessel walls. It is like squeezing a garden hose by hand every day, every hour, never letting it rest. Over time, the endothelial layer starts to wear down, tiny cracks appear, followed by mild inflammation, which then spreads. At this point, bad cholesterol, especially the small, dense form of LDL, begins to slip into those damaged areas and form plaque. This process is called atherosclerosis. You can think of healthy blood vessels like a soft, smooth garden hose. In contrast, inflamed vessels are like an old rubber hose left out in the sun for years, becoming dry, brittle, and prone to cracks. Every day that passes with high insulin levels is another day your vessel walls lose their precious elasticity. The result is stiffened arteries, restricted blood flow, and a heart that must work harder to pump blood throughout the body. This leads to worsening high blood pressure. Even more serious is when too much plaque builds up and then breaks off, causing a full blockage in a brain or heart artery, leading to a stroke or heart attack. The heartbreaking part is that many people have no idea this process is happening until a major event occurs. So if you have ever wondered why your blood pressure keeps rising, even though you take your medication regularly, this may be the time to consider whether inflammation caused by insulin resistance is affecting your blood vessels. In the next section, I will help you take a closer look at how most blood pressure medications work and why they cannot stop the dangerous chain of events we just explored. If you are taking blood pressure medication every day, you may have noticed that your numbers improve temporarily, but as soon as you miss a few doses, they shoot back up again. So do these medications truly solve the problem? The answer is yes, but only on the surface, not at the root. You can think of taking blood pressure medication like placing a piece of tape over the warning light on your car's dashboard. The light is still on, still signaling engine trouble, but we just cover it up and keep driving as if nothing is wrong. Medication can temporarily keep your blood pressure from rising too high, but it does not reduce insulin resistance. It does not heal the inflammation inside your blood vessels, and it does not help your body produce nitric oxide again. It is like trying to mop water off the floor without noticing the leaking pipe hidden behind the wall. the water will keep coming no matter how many towels you use. The sad truth is that many people, maybe even you or someone you love, believe that taking medication on time is enough to control blood pressure. But no one tells them that insulin resistance is still happening every day, that their blood vessels are still narrowing, still inflamed, still slowly collecting plaque. And then one day, when something serious happens, they are shocked and ask, why did I still have a stroke even though I took my medicine? That is because we have ignored the true cause inside the body. And no, this is not your fault. Because no one told you, no doctor checked your fasting insulin level during your first blood pressure appointment. No one explained that your diet affects your blood pressure more deeply than the pinch of salt you sprinkle on lunch. But now, and you have the right to choose a different path. The human body truly is a remarkable system. When you give it a chance, it knows how to heal itself. And this is also true for blood pressure. When you begin to restore insulin sensitivity, instead of letting it be overwhelmed by a poor diet, something wonderful starts to happen. Little by little, from the inside, first, the kidneys begin to release the sodium and water that had been retained for so long. This lowers the total volume of blood in circulation and reduces pressure inside your blood vessels. The heavy feeling or mild swelling in your legs or around your ankles may gradually disappear. Next, as insulin levels go down, nitric oxide, your safety valve, starts being produced again. Your blood vessels slowly become softer, more flexible, and allow blood to flow more smoothly without the heart needing to work too hard. The circulatory system becomes like a flowing stream that has been cleared after being blocked for a long time. It does not stop there. The low-grade inflammation in the inner lining of your arteries also begins to calm down because the pressure from high insulin is no longer driving damage and irritation. Tiny injuries get a chance to repair themselves. And the buildup of plaque starts to slow. This is not wishful thinking or theory. Many clinical studies have shown that when people reduce insulin resistance through proper lifestyle changes, their blood pressure also comes down in a natural and lasting way. No side effects. No need to increase medication. No more dizziness from standing up too fast because your medicine dropped, your pressure too low. It is simply your body returning to its natural job, keeping balance from within. And did you know, just a few small changes each day can start this process. You do not need to run 5 kilometers or follow an extreme diet. All it takes is eating the right way, walking gently, and giving your insulin a chance to rest. In the next section, I will share specific steps you can begin today, from meals and sleep to breathing, to help your heart recover and allow your blood pressure to return to balance in the most natural way. Once you understand that high insulin is the real reason behind stubborn blood pressure, the next step is not to look for a new medication, but to begin changing the smallest habits in your daily life. Start with your meals. Gradually reduce foods that cause a rapid rise in blood sugar, such as white bread, noodles, pasta, boxed fruit juice, cookies, and too much white rice. Instead, prioritize foods that help keep your blood sugar stable, like leafy greens, avocado, salmon, unsweetened nuts, boiled eggs, and clean protein sources like free-range chicken and wild-caught fish, foods rich in potassium and magnesium such as spinach, kale, avocado, and black beans are also great for heart health and help relax your blood vessels. Next is gentle movement. Just walking for 15 to 20 minutes each day, especially after meals, will help your body become more sensitive to insulin. That means insulin can work more efficiently without being released in large amounts, giving your blood pressure a chance to relax. You do not need to go to a crowded park or a gym. Walking around your yard, your home, or simply standing up and stretching gently every 30 minutes after sitting too long is enough. Another important factor is sleep. If you often go to bed late, sleep lightly, or wake up several times during the night, your body may release more insulin and stress hormones, which can raise your blood pressure. Try building a habit of going to bed before 10 p.m. Avoid late meals. Turn off electronic devices before bedtime, and try deep breathing or soft music to help you sleep better. And if you want to go further, learn about intermittent fasting. When you shorten your eating window during the day, for example, eating within 8 hours and fasting for the other 16, insulin gets a chance to rest. Every hour without food is an hour. Your blood vessels can relax. and your blood pressure can ease, your body no longer has to work nonstop and begins to recover according to its natural rhythm. Now that you have walked with me to the end of this journey, you may understand that high blood pressure in older age is not simply caused by salty food. It runs much deeper into what you eat each day, how you sleep, how you breathe, and how your body responds to insulin, from the white bread in the morning to the evening snack after 9 p.m. Each choice quietly affects the internal signals your body uses to regulate blood pressure naturally. And when that signal, insulin, becomes disrupted, not only does blood pressure rise, but your blood vessels are also gradually damaged over time. The good news is that you can fully reverse this process. You do not need to make huge changes or follow complicated routines. All it takes is starting today, choose one meal with fewer refined carbs, take a gentle walk after dinner, go to bed on time, and sleep more deeply. With these small steps, you are already restarting the recovery process for your heart and blood pressure. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are simply responding honestly to the signals your body has received for many years. And today, you can begin changing that message gently and with hope. If you found today's content helpful, please subscribe and click the bell so you can continue receiving gentle but effective guidance for your health in older age.